Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are 2 out of 3 brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
I'm from Tasmania.
Oh, I am Baz.
The etiquette, I thought you were Australian, not British.
Fucking hell.
Terrible line.
Anyway, we have a lot to say if we're going to just go what's bad about this movie.
We are reviewing the film Sharknado. If you listened last week to our review of the 10-year-old The Heat, this is the opposite in terms of movies
Sharknado
from 2013.
Yeah.
A TV movie that has resulted in 5 sequels.
Yeah. We'll get later. I've got to tell you.
Yeah, there's more and some the impact. That's great.
Oh.
Before we go any further, though, we are going to need a drink to be able to get through one of these films.
Yes.
So, what have you got for us? Is it the Mexican tornado that Baz talked about while he was on the jet ski?
It's a twist on that.
Oh,
No
is
pun
it like
intended. It's a water spout.
It's a spout.
There we go. It's a water spout. I just
Okay.
named it.
It's a water spout.
And much like making the movie, I didn't put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, right. Will putting a bomb into it destroy it?
Maybe. It's got tequila, blue curacao, and pineapple juice.
Okay.
Not quite the exact colour I was going for, but...
More blue?
Water can be that colour sometimes.
Well, who knows what's in it also.
Yeah.
You could have done it like a frog in a pond and got those little shark lollies and put it in there.
And sometimes the water in the street looks at the same colour as the water in a pool. Which looks like the same colour as the water in the ocean.
Which could also look like the same colour as Tara Reid's eyes. Like it could be like any mix of some kind of blue, grey, green. Anyway, this is what we've got.
Good luck, everybody.
A water spout. Cheers. Yep.
Pineapple juice.
Yep, I'm happy with that. I'll give it a little swoosh.
Meh.
Yeah.
Meh. Whatever. Moving on.
Well, it's blue curacao, tequila, and pineapple juice. If you have a sweet tooth, you'll like it. The quantities and the recipe will be on the socials at 2 out of 3 brothers.
Yeah.
So get on that. Sharknado. Tropenado.
You hadn't seen it before, had you?
No, I'm going to call it Tropenado.
I didn't know there was a 6th. Or a 5th. Wait.
I think there's 5. I think there's
6.
There is 6.
There's 6.
Yeah,
I've only seen 4 or 5 of them. I didn't know there was a 6th.
So I didn't watch it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
You were on it from the start.
Not quite from the start. I'd heard a bit about it. Well, it came out in Australia later because it's just a TV movie.
Yeah, when it's just on the SyFy Channel.
Yeah, so it got released on Foxtel on Universal Channel a year later or something.
Yeah.
So I knew about it because of how bad it was.
Yes.
And I was on it. And then when the 3rd one came out, I remember I did a marathon. I watched 1 and 2 and then 3 when the 3 came out.
So
it was the greatest 4 hours of cinema.
So when was it released in Australia?
Sometime in 2014.
Oh, it was released on the 23rd of July 2015.
Oh.
So yeah, that was Sharknado 3. Oh hell no. Come on. Okay. No, here we go. Right. So Sharknado was released in Australia in September of 2013.
Okay.
So the premiere of the film was watched by 1.37 million viewers on the SyFy Channel.
In the US, yes.
Slightly below the average audience of 1.5 million viewers for a typical sci-fi original film. Is this what you're going to say in your section?
I had a bit of it.
Am I stealing from you?
That's all right.
Australia premiered on the Universal Channel, was scheduled for September 9, 2013, but was fast-tracked to July 26, 2013. after the film's wide international response. So it was still in 2013. The first I kind of realised that it was a big thing was I was in the States for Comic-Con and they were flogging Sharknado 2.
Oh, okay, great.
And we picked up, just for fun, a foam chainsaw that said Sharknado 2 on it.
Great.
Where
is that?
I think we chucked it out.
Oh, we didn't give that to anyone.
I think I offered it to you.
I don't think you did, because I would have taken it.
Oh, well, it's in the bin. So, all right. Shall I talk about my impression of the story of Sharknado?
You should do an analysis of the writing of the story of Sharknado as per you, if you were doing like a good movie.
Well, in terms of... No.
It's much like a Shakespearean tragedy.
No, I don't know. The reception of me comparing There's Something About Mary to a Shakespearean comedy was not favourable, mainly from me. But I'm going to talk about... So, I want you at some point, as a little bit more of the Sharknado knowledge... Actually, the T-shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Home Alone.
Merry Christmas
for John Hurd. Because I couldn't tell you another movie John Hurd's in other than Home Alone 1 and 2 until I was like, who the fuck's this drunk at the bar? He seems familiar.
No, it was him.
No, I had to look him up. So, all right. So the storytelling of Sharknado.
Yeah.
I'd like in your segment for you to tell me kind of how... Is it meant to be a bit of a piss take of disaster movies?
I believe wholeheartedly that the first one, they did not intend to be a piss take.
Really?
Or a bad movie.
Okay.
Then when it was like, this is great because of how bad it is, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 leaned into that ridiculously.
Because this absolutely has every trope from this genre of movie.
Yeah.
So I have written trope a number of times, right?
Trope.
The trope of the ex-wife.
Yep. With the kid. Yep.
The trope of people not paying any attention to it until it actually happens to them, like standing on the pier watching a cyclone.
Yep.
The trope of people who need each other through a disaster. Like, Nova can't get home because her house is on the beach, so she's stuck together.
Yes.
Baz's only friend is Finn, and John Hurd is just drunk and has nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Tropes.
His number one possession is his bar stool.
Trope of people just stopping their cars in the middle of the freeway. The trope of bad things only happen to other people, not the main characters.
Okay.
So they drive just far enough up that freeway ramp, the water level doesn't rise to them.
And no letter of the Hollywood sign lands on them.
No. Well, but that bit where they're going up the freeway ramp, right? The water rising behind them rises not quite to their car.
No.
The big wave crashing in front of them takes out the car in front, but not theirs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then there's more tropes, more reasons to keep them close to the disaster. He's like, let's just fuck off.
No,
but
we
then
got to
they're
go to Van Nuys.
Matt's at flight school in Van Nuys. Has to save children. That's a trope. Has to stop to save children. There's only one person in frame. You know that person's going to die.
Yeah.
The flight school teacher, the teacher off the bus. Gets hit with the Hollywood sign.
Fantastic.
I laughed when the flight school teacher just got sucked out of the hangar.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Tropes of people just still being around. Trope of a car exploding for some reason.
Yep.
And then the big trope of like, we've got to go into the disaster to end the disaster. So
it's ridiculous.
When you just list off all of those tropes, you go, it's ticking all the boxes. But then when you say it's ticking all of those tropes in a movie where sharks are sucked up in a tornado, you go, this movie's got to be taking the piss.
Well, I always struggle a bit if it is actually taking the piss or not. So it does seem like a couple of friends got high and wrote a thing like, dude, what if there was a tornado over the ocean and it sucked up?
Or it's like the question, what happens when a tornado goes over the ocean? Does it suck the fish up? Because we've seen in Twister, and that's a fact, Helen Hunt's proved that cows get sucked up into tornadoes.
Yeah.
So would a shark get sucked up into a tornado, a cyclone?
Yeah.
Animals can. I've got an article here.
Well, there's no reason why they can't.
Alligators.
If a house in Kansas can get sucked up in a twister...
That's true. According to a report from 1887 in the New York Times...
The year...
Dr. J. L. Smith of Silverton, while opening up a new turpentine farm, noticed something fall to the ground and commenced to crawl towards the tent where he was sitting. On examining the object, he found it to be an alligator. Smith went on to find himself surrounded by 8 alligators in total, which had apparently been dropped from the sky by a distant water spout. If his account is to be believed, then this was history's first and only documented case of a genuine, no-joke gatornado.
I believe... look...
Not a gay tornado.
Not a gay tornado.
A gatornado.
God.
So, yeah, I feel like the film is a little bit taking the piss.
Yeah.
From the start.
I feel that at some point they lost control. And were like, guys, we don't have enough money. We just got to wrap this thing up. So in this overhead shot, use extras. Because we can't afford to pay Tara Reid money to do that. So just get that extra. But she's a brunette. Doesn't matter. Nobody will notice. Get that in there.
Actually didn't notice.
I did.
Because by then I was past noticing those things.
I was going to... sometimes we write down mistakes.
Yeah.
No. I wrote Sharknado.
But it's not a mistake because it's made them a lot of money.
I did have some... Brendan wrote questions during the thing of like...
Well...
Some things I love that are so stupid that that the fact that his name is Finn.
Yeah. I've got a few things. The actual... But the other trope is that it's a seemingly unrelated opening scene.
Yeah.
Like that dodgy shark fin soup deal, is only so that we can go, there's a storm, and that guy can say, there's lots of sharks around.
Yeah.
But it is a good action opening, like most horror films start with deaths.
Yeah.
It feels like a bit of a 2013 thing that everyone's got their tits out on the beach. Not out, but everyone's wearing as little as possible once we get back to Santa Monica.
Even if you're a bartender.
Yeah.
She's wearing a bikini.
Yeah, that's not food safety.
Nope.
The scar on Nova's leg,
nope.
Obviously a shark.
Oh, yeah.
And John Hurd's like, what's that scar from? It's fucking shark bite, mate.
Yeah.
Because then 2 lines later, he goes, you really hate sharks. She's like, yeah. Put 2 and 2 together, John. Maybe that's why you left your son at home, because you can't put 2 and 2 together like that.
It's the fact that the scar is just like a leg, and then the shark's teeth just went stab out. Out. No movement, no, it's serrated edging.
It's obviously meant to be a shark bite is what I should have said.
Yeah.
Because it is not obviously a shark bite.
And it doesn't look as bad as the prosthetic makeup job they did on the son's scar from falling off a slide.
When I was 2.
Yeah.
And then the scar goes halfway up his 20-something-year-old ribcage.
Uh-huh.
The film goes from 0 to 100. It's like, I'm surfing. There's a fucking shark flown through my bar window and eaten one of my customers.
Yeah.
It's just like, bang, done. But then the storm is only when the story needs there to be a storm.
Mm.
Like, if you think about something like The Day After Tomorrow, it builds up to all of New York City being under ice.
Yeah.
This is like, I think we need a shark attack here. Wind.
Yeah.
Oh, no, let's let them get away a little bit. Wind.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not how cyclones work.
Yeah.
There's like wind, break, wind. Not wind, break, wind, break, wind, break. Doesn't work like that.
I don't know if I'm trusting the
No.
accurate weather signs of this movie.
No. But on a positive, the use of stock footage is... I haven't seen as good use of stock footage since Robot Monster.
The sharks look so bad.
Yeah.
The budget was $2 million, all right? They had a $2 million budget, so...
Okay, all right.
Right? That's not much.
It's... You want to know the budget for Jaws?
80.
7 million. No, hang on. No, the budget was 4 and the picture wound up costing 9 million.
Jaws?
Yeah. But
that was 40 years before.
Its box office was 500 million.
Yeah, there you go.
So
it was a blockbuster.
It paid for itself. The actual storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So if you just want to boil it down to the things that you need in order to tell a disaster horror movie, they've done it.
Pretense, people, baddies,
people we're meant to care
solution.
about. Yeah. It's people you're meant to care about, shit goes wrong, and they've got to get through it.
Yeah.
So with the disaster movie, it's the getting through it that is the thing.
Yes.
And that's why they keep having to fight sharks off and keep having to deal with floodwaters that also are full of sharks. And occasionally you just need to rip your ex-wife's new boyfriend's legs out of a shark.
I mean...
And the tearing sound, great sound effect.
Yeah, and I love that that shark in particular, changed size about 8 times.
Almost as many times as the shark that he jumped into at the end of it changed size.
I've seen this movie a number of times.
Yep.
And I still cracked up laughing at that. And because I knew what was I knew the end.
I knew the end.
And I was like, that, and then the other one that was really bad. Well, where do I go from here?
When he just stood there with the chainsaw and the one went over him went in half, that was great.
The unnamed flight student number 2.
Bobby or the other one?
Bobby, I think. Bobby.
Oh, the one that got eaten or the one that got smushed against the truck?
The one that got eaten.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Bobby.
Hilarious.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Was there no, actually, also that I could go on for hours.
Yeah.
In the start with the Mexican boat guy, when the shark goes around and then comes past and just eats his face off.
Yeah. Because he ends up looking like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. But also
Ferris wheel.
Nova, right?
Yeah.
When it is her on concrete, no, she's on the pier.
Yeah.
And a shark is on the pier.
Yeah.
There's no water. Just stand up and literally walk away.
No, that's not how these sharks work.
The shark will not catch you.
The shark, if you're on land, you're fine. Unless it lands on you.
No, but she was on the pier. There was no water.
Yeah. But you know how you beat that shark? With a bar stool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you literally get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Because
it's
a fish. It can't chase you.
It's not that episode of The Simpsons where the dolphins come out of the water and start walking on their tail.
Yes, and it's not 1887's Gatornado, where gators can walk on land.
You know what?
Make that a prequel, please. Sharknado 7, Gatornado.
Gatornado.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
You know, we've got to put it on our list. We've got to watch Cocaine Bear.
I know. Hurry out. It's my list. I'll watch it this weekend.
Okay.
Actually, I'm away this weekend. Yeah, Mum will be fine with it. There's a lot of questions that sometimes the questions I wrote were story-based and some were, this is ridiculous. They're driving in the freeway and the water is up to their door.
Yep.
And there's a shark under the car.
I wrote the same thing.
If there's enough room for a shark to go under your car, how are your wheels on the ground?
How does a shark get under the car but the car is still driving?
Yeah.
I wrote.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those flat sharks. Some of them are flatter than others.
And they don't have a fin.
They mustn't.
No. Maybe it's... Anyway.
But you know what? I liked that they attempted to explain a couple of things. Like Finn very deliberately in the script says, don't worry about the car's electronics. I've sealed them all up with silicon because I've driven every beach from here to Costa Rica.
Yeah, so you know it can...
So we know the car can drive through water.
Mm.
But I don't think it's lifted to a point where a shark can get underneath it.
Oop. My other question about the story, maybe you can help me with this one, Lee.
Okay.
Claudia, the daughter.
Yep.
Full-blown adult.
Is she, though? Like, is she an adult playing a kid like her dad was an adult playing a kid in Beverly Hills 90210?
Ian Ziering, not Ian.
Oh, no, is it?
It is. That's what they called him on that season of The Celebrity Apprentice he was on, and he came second. That was after this, by the way. This reshot him into fame, Ian Ziering. And he lost to Marley Matlin.
Kept Tara Reid going.
Yeah. Jesus. I would have to say that in the history of cinema, Tara Reid has to be one of the worst actors of all time.
Considering how many movies she's done, her in American Pie, okay.
After that, awful.
But there's not much, like, it's not a deep role in American Pie.
Yeah.
She's not great even in Scrubs, is she?
She's alright, but she's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She's a drunk.
She's bad. But also Ian Ziering is bad.
Yeah.
I kept thinking...
John Hurd's bad.
I kept thinking that guy, Baz, was bad. But then I was like... But
was he...
Yeah, he was Australian.
What?
Tasmanian, mate.
I don't think... Are you sure?
Mate, yeah.
I don't think they made any jokes about that whatsoever.
No, there was just one reference where Ian Ziering said...
Don't say it.
They don't like Vegemite. I was eating a Vegemite scroll as I watched the movie.
You go, oh, I'm not a shark. I like Vegemite.
I love Vegemite.
Am I a shark? Yeah, so Claudia's a full-blown adult. I'm saying she's at least 20.
Yep, okay. With no independence.
With no independence, and still her parents have a shared custody arrangement.
No, she's got to be still in high school as a character.
Not at all.
How old's the son?
20-something.
My favourite moment for the son was when Nova just gave up on trying to root the dad.
Yes!
And was just like, well, I'll just have the son then. Because I thought, right, obviously, because the movie is so ticking the boxes of tropes.
Yeah.
And, all right, let's stop using the word trope and start using the word cliche.
Yes.
Because if you overuse a trope, it becomes a cliche, and that's what this movie has done. Because it uses so many cliches, I knew that Ian Ziering... I can't call him Ian.
That's his name. Ian Ziering and Tara Reid.
Finn and Tara Reid. I knew they were going to end up together at the end of the movie. Yeah. Right? And so I'm thinking, how do we get Nova out of the way?
Yeah.
Then, when she fell off a helicopter and got caught in midair by a shark, I was like, okay, she's dying, because then they get together.
And then, probably the worst acting in this movie, which is saying something.
When Matt's like...
Nova!
Oh!
No!
No! Oh, no! Nova!
Actually, no. Tara Reid on the phone, the first time he calls Tara Reid, that was the worst.
When she
Just
goes...
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know what your voice sounds like.
It is not the 20th of the month.
No, the first line she says in the whole movie. Yeah, I know what your voice sounds like.
Yeah, I know what your voice sounds like.
Oh.
Why? That's like Cozzy.
Yeah.
What's it? There's more where they came from.
Where they came from.
Anyway, we'll do that.
Although, Jackie Weaver has now won Emmys.
Yeah, Oscar nominee.
Yeah.
But she's meant to be bad.
Yes, in that movie.
Anyway.
Matt's acting was when... He doesn't react when she falls out.
No.
Badly edited.
Uh-huh.
Because there's too long of things. It should be like... She falls, Matt reacts to her falling. She falls into a shark, Matt reacts to her dying.
Yeah.
Then...
I have a feeling they didn't have the budget for reshoots.
Well, and when they did, they had to use extras because Tara Reid was already off.
He was already off in rehab.
The shark that Finn jumps into at the end just happens to be the one
I
that ate Nova.
love it.
And then I'm like, Nova's back. But then Nova just, like, is with Matt then.
Yeah, fine.
And Matt, sleazeball.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Dad rocks up with someone that Tara Reid assumes is a stripper.
Well...
And Matt just, like, grabs her by the hip. He's like, come and make some bombs with me.
Yeah, come and...
And she gives him this look of like, oh, you sleazebag. But then, like, one very near death experience later, she's in love with him.
My other great bit of Baz... why is a bomb going to work? And then he pops out like an after-school special. Actually, tornadoes are caused from mixing cold and hot air. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's like, will this work? Will this work with a hedge trimmer? What about this chainsaw? What about this chainsaw?
Yeah, chainsaws.
Love it.
I asked a question and I've answered it myself.
Yeah.
Has Mythbusters done Sharknado?
I'm pretty sure it has.
They have.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the results, but I'll put that on the TikTok. Mythbusters Sharknado thing.
You know what the other thing I like that was completely obvious and bad?
Mm.
The fact that they recorded 99% of the dialogue after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
Because...
They obviously couldn't afford outside microphones.
There was a point where there was a few scenes that they never showed the person who was talking. Yeah. And I think one of them was in that bomb shelter. I don't know where they went. Hardware store.
Oh, the, like, army disposals.
Yeah, where they got the chainsaws and made the bombs. One was that, and it was like, I'm like, you have recorded this 2 days after you've shot this scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
It's great.
Oh.
I thought George would last longer than he did.
So did I.
He died very soon. Yeah.
Early. And after he saved a dog, there's always a dog.
There's always a dog. That's another trope that's always in there. And fucking dumb people are just a trope. Like dumb people in disaster.
You gotta get out of here. Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts. Well, I don't know what that accent was.
No one moves.
Everybody in LA always complains when it rains and thinks it's the storm of the century.
Yeah, and that guy, literally, there's a shark there.
Yeah.
Mate.
And then
it is the fucking storm of the century.
The thing I do like is that when they show these people that were like, I don't believe it's real, they died very shortly after.
Yeah, well, that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
He fucking abseils down to a school bus. But I just love that he just goes, drive up to the bridge. What is it called? Parlay, it's not the word.
Parasail?
No, abseil. But he says another word. Parry?
No. Anyway. I love that he has all that gear in his car.
Well, he's a man of the world.
He's a man.
No, he's one of those men. Rappel is the word I'm looking for. He's just like...
LA.
Yeah, drive up the bridge, I'll rappel down. And everyone's just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, we believe you can do that.
It would... Okay. I have said the story ticks all the boxes for this genre, right? So I'm giving that a tick.
Yeah.
Okay? That's
a 1 out of 5.
A story.
Yeah.
Movie making, I'm not fully qualified to comment on because I've never made a movie.
Okay.
But that's bad.
Yeah.
When I do make a movie, it won't be 70% stock footage. Okay?
But not stock footage. Stock footage, the same shot. Yeah. Of the one shark with the 2 little sharks either side of it.
Yeah.
That no matter where you are in the pool, in the ocean, in the pier, in the street, it's the same.
But also just like normal people driving in a normal amount of rain stock footage.
Yes. And luckily the rain stopped when he needed to parlay down to the kids.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my comment, right? Because up until then, he's going on and on and on. The water level's rising, the water level's rising, the water level's rising.
Yeah.
A school bus holds like 30 kids.
And
a fat teacher.
Yep.
Right? How long do you think it would take to pull those people up from the school bus, considering Baz is the only one actually pulling anything? Hours.
One of the women could have helped.
Well...
Especially with the teacher.
Only one of them needed to be at the wall.
Yeah.
There were 3 other people.
Yep. Claudia was doing nothing.
No. She's only maybe 16.
She's 18. She's 20 if she's a day.
I'll just abseil down onto a school bus. I knew the teacher was going to die, but I thought the teacher was going to get eaten off a rope.
I thought
like that
too.
little carnival game you play where you have your hands behind your back and there's a donut on a string.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the teacher.
It was nearly Iron's earring.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later he goes, wait, I'll just cut you off.
Yeah.
Shrip.
I've got a knife.
I've had enough of you.
The teacher, I knew the teacher was going to die, but then the teacher got back onto the bridge. I'm like, oh, okay, they're stuck with this bloody other teacher.
I knew he was going to die and I thought he got eaten up the rope because I remember that happening.
Yes.
But then as soon as the Hollywood sign went poof, I'm like, that's right.
Well, the Hollywood sign started going, and then as soon as I saw the teacher standing alone in frame, I knew he was going to die.
And the best line of the movie.
Which one?
My mother always said Hollywood would kill me.
God.
That's not a bad line. That's a great line.
I thought the best line you were going to say happens not long after when Nova said, Finn says to Nova, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hot when you do that.
Oh.
Your ex-wife, who in an hour you're going to end up back with, is in the back of the car.
But she's a sour bitch. And
she only gets jealous once Finn gets up off the bridge and Nova hugs her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The helicopter can't go that close to the tornado.
Before that, right? You said before, Baz knows how a tornado is made.
Uh-huh.
When they think the storm is easing up, wouldn't Baz be like, no, we're just in the eye of the storm?
Well, yeah. Most people know there's an eye of a storm. Is that not just logic?
Well, I learnt it again. That my only other Twister movies are Twister and The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So I learnt that from Helen Hunt.
Well, there you go.
But I suppose, maybe the cyclone has passed and we just got the water spouts to deal with then.
Yeah, okay. Yes,
all right.
True.
I'll give him that. The car dies, of course.
Do you reckon they don't know how to deal with it because partway through them being Americans went, shit, we can't just shoot our way out of this. What are we going to do?
Yeah, that's an issue. Well, they do blow their way out of it.
I do love that they had a gas tank and then shot a shark with it in his mouth.
Yeah, well, that's a Jaws thing.
That's hilarious.
That's the end of Jaws. Spoiler.
That's the end of Jaws.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, they just stole that from the other shark movie.
They did steal that from the other shark movie. We've talked about 7-Eleven stuff in our other podcast.
Yeah, they're terrible.
If there was a cyclone...
Oh my God, not that guy. Yeah.
Would you still be working?
Well, it's not really.
Oh, the government.
It was the government with a big capital G.
Yeah, he knows what kind of cheese I like. Pepper Jack.
Pepper Jack.
We just tell everyone.
That was kind of funny when he went, Pepper Jack, it's amazing. and then Iron's like, can we leave now, please?
Yeah, this guy is giving me the fucking
in the
shits.
Same series as Meatloaf and Gary Busey.
What same series?
On Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, okay.
You know when it was a serious... You know the president that was the president.
Oh, yeah.
He was on TV before.
Yeah. I would not still be running that shop.
Iron.
I would have filled the bags and gotten the fuck out of there if this shit was happening.
Yeah.
Also, if this disaster is to this level...
Oh, he does not look good.
Would the cops have chased down one car?
Oh, dumb. I hate when cops do that. Let them go.
I don't think they would have.
Let them go, for fuck's sake.
The bomb idea is ridiculous, I wrote. But it suits the movie and this genre. Because if you think about, like, Deep Impact... Is it Deep Impact or the other one, Armageddon, where Bruce Willis has to go up and, like, put a nuclear bomb in an asteroid?
I think that's Armageddon.
Like, if you say that putting a bomb in a tornado is ridiculous, you can't also accept Bruce Willis putting a nuclear bomb in an asteroid. Or Independence Day, Will Smith flying into the mothership to put a bomb. Like, they're all equally ridiculous.
And, you know, that it's only as about as wide as a swamp rat.
Yeah. That other, whatever that movie is.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
I literally blanked on the name of it. Maybe he wasn't on Celebrity Apprentice. Did I just make that up?
Iron's earring. Maybe he was on Celebrity Amazing Race, Celebrity Survivor.
Why do I need Dancing with the Stars season?
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Celebrity
Family
dancing.
Feud.
Celebrity.
Celebrity Family Feud. The Last Sharknado. Sharknado 3. The 94th Annual Miss America pageant. He was a judge.
God.
Oprah, Where Are They Now?
Good question.
Happily Divorced. That was not the thing.
The answer to Where Are They Now?
Oh.
Okay. Now, you said the chopper couldn't possibly get close. No way.
Well, not staying completely level.
But also, he's still a student pilot. Like, as they say, he's out at Van Nuys doing flight school. Not teaching flight school. He's still a student pilot.
No, an old mate, Bobby and...
The other one.
Llewellyn?
Yep, probably. Yep.
Hadn't done that yet.
Llewellyn, it is.
They hadn't done their thing yet.
Luellyn.
Sorry, I just looked up Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, okay.
Celebrity Apprentice was an American TV reality competition series. It was a variation of the Apprentice series, hosted by the real estate developer, later 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
All right.
Arnie took over.
Connor Well as Llewellyn, one of Matt's friends in flight school. Alex Arleo as Bobby, one of Matt's friends in flight school. Julie McCulloch as, this is unnecessary, Johnny, that's Johnny with an I, Waves, a news reporter. Fucking hell.
Maybe am I thinking of... Should I stop just looking at Celebrity Apprentice?
Can we get back onto Sharknado?
Sorry, no, it's really annoying me now.
The chopper won't get even close, but the two Jaws tributes
Vivek A. Fox
are the shooting the oxygen tank in the shark's mouth.
Yeah.
And when she says, we're going to need a bigger chopper.
Yes.
But that is a shit line. Because it's too late. You're up in the chopper. You're not going to go down, get a bigger chopper and go up again, which is what they do in Jaws.
Yeah.
What they should have done is got in a car. The car floats a bit. Then they say, we're going to need a bigger car.
Mm.
Anyway, that's the only rewrite. I didn't know sharks growled.
I don't believe they do.
Only when they're falling from a tornado do they growl.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, because they're not in their natural habitat. They're probably like, what the fuck?
And then he jumps into a shark that is relatively normal sized, then saws his way out of a shark that is enough to fit 5 people in.
Mm.
And Nova is there, hasn't been chomped at all, just whole.
Yeah.
Like Jonah in a whale.
Yeah.
And then Nova's just like, oh, well, he's with Tara Reid, I'm just going to root the sun now.
Yeah. Sloppy seconds.
Finn. End of the movie.
Finn, I love that. Loved it. Iron Ziering was in the...
Thank God.
Season 14 of The Apprentice, where he came 6th. He raised $320,000 for his charity.
For his films.
Yeah.
All right. What's the impact?
Pretty sure Vivica A. Fox was then also in Sharknado in the sequels. Look, I don't know where to start, Lee. Do you know it has a People's Choice Award nomination for Favourite TV Movie?
Yeah, okay. I'll
believe that.
Yeah, that's fine.
The film has 5 sequels.
God.
Sharknado 2, the second one.
Good.
Sharknado 3, oh hell no. Sharknado the Fourth Awakens. Sharknado 5, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming.
Good.
And the last Sharknado, It's About Time.
Yep.
This says, though the original film was not explicitly a comedy, maintaining at least a facade of seriousness despite the implausible plot, the sequels were more openly comedic in nature.
Good.
Iron's earrings basically only signed on... You're going to react like that every time I say
Yes.
So he only signed on... He had some reservations about the script, so he was right.
Yeah. Well, hang on.
Was motivated... This is quite timely, this comment. He was motivated by the fact that he needed to earn enough money to qualify for a SAG card to get health insurance for him and his family.
That's very topical. Can we also say who had more reservations? Was it Iron's Earrings' reservations about the script or Anthony C. Ferrante's reservations about Iron's Earrings' acting ability?
Well,
because he's not being cast because he is being cast because he is not worth the money of a real actor.
Yeah. Who knows? So what they do with a lot of those sci-fi movies, they're just B-grade TV movies. Yeah. So like you said before, the average audience is 1.5 million, which is kind of a lot. I suppose in America, maybe not. Then it started trending on Twitter.
Yep.
Due to some celebrities, including Will Wheaton.
Oh, yeah.
Then it got more popular, so they repeated it a week later, and that airing got nearly 2 million.
Yeah, wow.
And then a third airing got another 2 million.
It is written by someone named... Thunder Levine.
I reckon that's a made-up person.
Yeah. Because, and listen, their movies are all this. Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood.
Yeah.
Sharknado, AE Apocalypse Earth, From the Sea, Sharknado 234, Mind Blown, Sharknado 5, Geodisaster, Megalodon, The Last Sharknado, and their most recent, Zombie Tidal Wave.
Oh my Jesus!
Which,
how do we watch that?
Yeah, that was 2019, so we're not ready for. A fisherman contends with an ocean-borne outbreak that threatens his seaside island community. Director? No. Oh my God.
What?
Director Anthony C. Ferrante.
Yeah.
Writers Thunder Levin, Anthony C. Ferrante.
Yeah.
Iron's Earring.
Yes.
Stars.
Iron's Earring. Yes. I reckon he's become a thing now. Yeah.
Chikashi Higaki Linspichler and Shelton Jolivet.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's just taking the piss out of himself thing now.
Now he's probably getting paid plenty for it. So
yeah.
Also, my last comment about the thing, it's a bit depressing. Speaking of people who have played characters named Finn, I don't know, I should say. Corey Monteith.
Oh, okay.
His last tweet before his death was about Sharknado.
Oh, no. Was it about Finn?
I don't know, it just says, like, he's one of the celebrities that talks about it on Twitter that made it more popular. And he goes, his last tweet before his death was about Sharknado. I shouldn't laugh, but speaking of bad things, should we give out some awards?
Yep. The best or the worst extra first? What do you reckon?
I reckon best is probably a smaller pool of candidates.
Well, my main best extra was the old lady with the walker who clearly doesn't need it.
Yep.
And basically runs in from the pool carrying the walker.
Mine was like that couple.
Yep.
But then they had a couple of lines. They like, get away from the windows.
But also, I was going to say worst extras, but I think it's storyline. That they're all just still out in the pool.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't say one of the good lines. Why is there an old folks' home next to an airport?
Oh, well, I was getting to that.
Oh. No, that's a good line.
Because I can't hear anything.
Because they can't hear anything. Good,
I feel like that's a
decision.
Christmas cracker
Good
joke.
decision. That's all I had for best extra.
I wrote kind of the two other flight students. Mainly the one that pushed Robbie out of the way to save himself, and then he gets impaled on a car.
Then he gets killed, yeah.
But I reckon the old couple.
Yeah, right. Let's give it to the old couple.
Look, worst extra.
That was the Estelle Reiner Best Extra Award.
Yeah.
The worst extra, my first nomination, this is named after Andy Millman from Ricky Gervais's Extra. The lifeguard who doesn't notice that all of the waves are full of sharks.
The one with the tat?
No, the one that stands... Well, I don't know if he had a tat.
He had a tat in his shoulder. The one that just stands there
and does
nothing?
Stands in the tower.
Yep.
And all of these sharks coming in. Also, question, why does the sharks... There's heaps of sharks.
There's heaps of
How
sharks.
does Iron Ziering get out of that?
He's Iron Ziering.
Yeah, he's the main character.
I had him. I had Guy on the pier. I wrote Guy on the pier that looks like he's about to say something that doesn't. So, when the, the waves coming in, there's a guy that close up on. He's there with like, let's say his girlfriend.
Yep.
And then he looks at her and goes, and opens his mouth like he's about to say something, then stops.
Then remembers that he's on camera and stops. That's him. The other one I had was when they drive through that cop blockade.
Yeah.
The one that's directing traffic does not even react.
No.
To a four-wheel drive barreling past him. But then I thought, maybe he's stock footage. And they've just...
Bela Lugosi's chiropractor.
Yeah, they've just CGI'd the four-wheel drive driving through some stock footage.
And then I also wrote the woman who leaves her dog in the car. Just because don't leave your fucking dog in the car. Did you lock your keys in the car?
In a dumb disaster movie panic.
Yeah.
I think that's just, we need to have to save a dog.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to give it to the guy that doesn't talk on the pier.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep.
It was like... no, I'm not going to say anything. It's like he forgot his line. Speaking of line...
Well, he shouldn't have had a line. Speaking of line, the Halle Berry X-Men worst line in the movie award. It's tough because I wrote bad in a bad movie sense or bad.
I reckon it's both.
The dialogue as a whole is bad.
Yeah.
But then I reckon there are some lines that, even in this movie, are bad.
There's something unnatural about everything.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then Nova spills John Hurd's beer.
Yeah.
It's not beer.
Whatever drink it is, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, and I want another one now. Yeah, a free one. On the house. One that doesn't cost anything.
No, I'm okay with that. Okay. That's kind of John Hurd's character just being a bit of a rambling drunk.
I did also write Sharks Don't Like Vegemite.
I wrote when Baz says, looks like that time of the month.
Oh, I wrote that too. What the fuck, man?
When all of the water, well, to be fair, all of that red water is in Tara Reid's foyer.
Jesus.
But also, how does her house flood, but then they walk out the front door and the driveway has no water on it?
Thank you.
And only Tara Reid's house gets washed down the hill.
Oh, and then it leads me to another one. Easy come, easy go.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I mean, she just lost her very expensive housemate.
Yeah, that could have been his house. It was his house. Because at one point, Baz says to him, it's good of you to let her new boyfriend live in your house. Don't remind me. Stupid.
Speaking of Baz,
yeah,
we can't go out there. There's kangaroos loose in the paddock.
Oh, your kangaroo's loose in the paddock. At least the actor playing Baz is Australian.
Yeah, he couldn't even get a job in fucking Home and Away.
True.
Or Neighbours. So then they go out. I think it was then. I don't know. They're on their way to Thing's house, Tara Reid's house.
Yep.
And they're on the freeway, and there's all these people driving, and they're like, "What are these people thinking?" Like, you're on the freeway too.
The same idiot. Thing as you.
But
also, there's only like a stock footage amount of traffic.
Yeah.
Like, it's not busy. It's not blocked up like World War Z.
I hate the 405.
Yeah.
Move!
Do you know what...
She's clearly a failed actress.
When he is rappelling up, parlaying up from the bus onto the bridge, someone says, watch out for the sharks.
Oh, they're sharks. I didn't know I did.
Watch out for the sharks. Oh, really?
I did write, why is there a retirement home next to an airport because old people can't hear?
No, I'm okay with that one.
And then I wrote, we're going to need a bigger chopper, but I'm okay with that one too.
I think it has to be someone saying, halfway through this movie, someone says to Iron Ziering,
watch
why
out
the
for
fuck
the
is your name Iron?
Yeah.
Oh, no, watch out for the sharks. That just
You know what? I'm fine with that, but I'm also, can we give it a tie?
Yeah.
It looks like it's that time of the month.
Yeah. I didn't cry.
Oh,
No.
not even at the end.
No, when they had a bloody makeout session.
When the birthing scene.
No, when Tara Reid kissed.
Yep.
And there was just blood.
Disgusting.
She looked worse than Carrie. Not Carrie Fisher.
No. Rest in peace.
All right.
Most iconic scene.
I think the most iconic scene is him standing there with the chainsaw and the shark flies and he cuts it in half.
I had a couple.
Okay.
I had the school bus.
Okay.
Then the guy getting crushed by Hollywood Sun.
Yeah.
The most iconic scene
Yep.
is when he dives into the shark with a chainsaw and then cuts himself out.
Could the most iconic scene be the stock footage we see over and over again of the one big shark with the two little sharks next to it?
Can we have a talk? No, it has to be. He cuts himself out of the shark. It just so happens to be the same shark that she was in.
Yeah, okay.
And he somehow goes in there with the chainsaw, fully loaded.
Yep.
And doesn't cut her at all.
No, hang on. But before that...
I know, but...
Sharks have rows and rows of teeth.
Yeah.
She's made it past all of those teeth without getting chomped. They also have
digestive systems.
Yeah.
And
not just a cavern.
It was so clearly just... They went to Clark Rubber and got rubber and put it in a cylinder...
Yeah.
And cut through that. Because, news alert, people, sharks have bones.
Yeah.
And other organs in their body.
Well, but you also see those other organs when they... Oh, no, after that, the intestines are on the ground.
I thought it was just like... And then it's not just the fact that that's how the movie ended.
Yeah.
But then it's also just that... The way it was shot, and it was kind of just very, like, static, and it was just like...
Yeah, they just put one camera there.
And then he's out.
And he just crawled out.
Finn! And he goes, I gotta go back in there.
Yeah. He found Nova in amongst the guts.
There's how many sharks?
Hundreds.
Yeah. Thousands.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. It's fantastic. How many times did you laugh? Did you laugh more than the heat?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Because I actually was just writing down all of the tropes.
Right. Okay.
I was focused on the story for this one because I wanted to see if the story was as bad as the movie making.
I can't wait till we do the second one. It's even better. I don't think Nova comes back. I think she gets replaced by someone.
Is Matt back?
No,
cannot act.
I don't think the kids are back. I think the only people that come back are Iron Ziering and Tara Reid.
Fucking Iron Ziering.
And there's some... Is it in the second or the third one where she gets her arm bitten off by a shark?
Okay.
By a baby, like a baby shark. Do.
Yeah.
Right? And then,
sorry, folks, it's now in your head.
And then they then somehow make a mechanical hand.
Like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. And
in that movie you can't remember the name of.
Yeah. And instead of a hand, it's like a buzzsaw.
Great.
And she's just like, swing, swing.
It's like in...
I think Vivica A. Fox is in the other ones.
Didn't you just see her in The Celebrity Apprentice?
Yeah, but I think they were in the Sharknadoes together.
All right, that's enough.
I can't believe he didn't win.
Okay, that is it for Sharknado. Any final thoughts? I'm glad I watched it.
It's so entertaining, and it's 80 minutes long. I mean...
Yeah.
I
just watched it after work today.
I watched it, and then I watched another movie, which I'll talk about in a future episode of Maybe We'll Recommend.
Okay.
That is also... I couldn't tell if it was meant to be funny or not.
Oh, okay.
So...
All right.
I loved it. I'm going to watch it again. Now I want to watch the other 7.
So, to go the complete opposite, we are going to go... What is this? 85... No, it's not. 55 years ago.
1968.
Yes. So we are going 55 years ago, and we are going to a movie that is much longer. It is 2 hours and 33.
Oh, that's a long one.
It is a musical drama. Okay. It is Oliver.
Oh, So we've gone from Sharknado to Best Picture winner Oliver.
Yep.
And also for the record, Vivica A. Fox is in Sharknado too.
Okay. Now, according to the Google, the movie was released on the 30th of April 1981 in Australia.
I don't believe so.
No.
I can't imagine that that's correct.
So,
here's a little ditty we're singing in the city.
Do you reckon we can do a... do you reckon we can do a 6 degrees of separation?
Okay. Who's in Oliver? Well, none of them have done anything except Oliver Reed.
Harry Seacombe and Oliver Reed.
He's not Fagin. Bill Sykes.
Oliver Reed is Bill Sykes.
He was in Gladiator.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Russell Crowe.
Tara Reid.
Yeah, Russell Crowe to Tara Reid.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep.
God, I don't know if it can be done.
Oh,
John
sure
Hurd.
it can.
Who's in Richie Rich?
I couldn't tell you.
Isn't there like the butler in Richie Rich? Who's that?
Could we get John Hurd? We're thinking John Hurd gets us to Home Alone, which gets us to both Culkins, Catherine O'Hara,
John Candy,
Tim Curry, John Candy. Tim Curry. Was in Fern Gully with Christian Slater. Can Christian Slater get us to Russell Crowe?
I can't think of a Christian now, but I might be able to think of a Christian Slater. Yay!
I was ready for it that time because I knew it was coming.
Vivica A. Fox has done a lot of movies.
Christian Slater was in Broken Arrow with John Travolta, if that helps.
Christian Slater was in Austin Powers.
Was he?
Here is your orange sherbet.
Oh, God, that was Christian Slater.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
John Hurd to Catherine O'Hara to... Okay.
Oh, no, that gets me back to the thing. I was going to go, John Hurd was in Home Alone with Catherine O'Hara.
Yep.
Who was in Schitt's Creek with Eugene Levy.
Yep.
Who was in American Pie with Tara Reid.
Oh, yep. Okay, yes, that's true. This tricky one. Because we need to get to Gladiator to get to Oliver Reed.
Because that's all I can think of.
Unless we go Harry Seacombe.
Yeah, but he's
like British comedy stuff.
Yeah.
The Goon Show and just Seacombe stuff.
It's not so bad.
The Goon Show's Peter Sellers. Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Kevin Kline is the remake of Pink Panther, if that helps. No.
God.
Russell Crowe's done lots of movies.
Russell Crowe. He was in a Thor.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. Which Melissa McCarthy was in. You're going too far back.
I know, I'm kind of like...
All right, that's hard. Listeners, if you reckon you've got anything, let us know. And we'll see what we reckon we can do.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oliver Reed, Joaquin Phoenix.
Robert De Niro. Joaquin
Phoenix, Scarlett Johansson. In Her.
Joaquin Phoenix, Amy Adams. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Reese Witherspoon.
How did we get to...
no, that gets me back to Russell Crowe.
In Thor, yeah. Hemsworth, Matt Damon, Tara Reid.
Who else is in American Pie?
Tara Reid. I reckon we get from Tara Reid to Jason Segel again. Right?
Yeah.
Jason Segel.
Who was in the Muppets movie with Amy Adams.
To Kristen Bell, who was with Jamila Jamil, and we just watched her episode of Poker Face. Done. I don't know, I just had Jamila Jamil in my head. She's good. Jason Segel was in the Muppets with Amy Adams. Can Amy Adams get its to...
Amy Adams was in The Master. Let's go with that. With Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Who was in Gladiator with Oliver Reed.
Far out. Quick, write it down.
Okay. Well, we don't, because we don't need to post anything about it.
But still.
Amy Adams, Joaquin Phoenix. Is that what you're saying? The Master. Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got Oliver Reed.
Was in Gladiator with Joaquin
Oliver.
Phoenix. Okay.
And then Gladiator with Joaquin Phoenix, who's in The Master with Amy Adams, who is in Muppets with Jason Segel.
She wasn't that, wasn't she?
I think so.
Imagine if she's not. It's
yes.
Maybe somebody I get her mixed up with.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Amy Adams as Mary, an elementary school teacher and Gary's longtime girlfriend. So Amy Adams with Jason Segel in The Muppets, who is with Alison Hannigan in How I Met Your Mother, who is in American Pie with Tara Reid, who was in Sharknado. I think that's 7, but it's much better. To get from 1968 to a D grade 2013, we've done well. All right. So next week we are doing Oliver. If you reckon you can do better on the 6 degrees of separation, get in touch with us on the socials at 2 out of 3 brothers, or join the Facebook group and chat to us there. Links are in the episode description. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any more of these good and bad movies and our good and bad reviews.
Yes.
Thank you, Brett.
Finn.
Or should I say thank you, Brett?
Brett?
If I can pronounce Ian as iron, what do I pronounce Brett as?
Brett, all right? I'm not a fuckwit.
Iron.
Iron theory, because he's not Ian.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to Two Drink Cinema. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast, either leave a tip or become a member for early access to these episodes by using the link in the show notes.
Join the Facebook group for more chat about the movies we review, and make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date.
Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on your podcast app.
Happy viewing and drink responsibly.